Hey guys, it is ALIN, King of Cards, back with another video. Now, I'm so sorry I've been away for so long. I kind of just lost motivation, to be honest. You know, small channel, subs not really growing. But I realised that I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing it for subs, I'm not doing it for money or anything. I'm just doing it for fun. So I'm back, and hopefully this is going to be the first of many videos. Now, I thought first deck back, we'd have a look at Trickstar post Alliance Insight, but also post Maze of the Master, because we got some awesome new support in that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this deck profile. So first we have 3 copies of our Trickstar Candina. Now that is absolutely standard in most Trickstar deck profiles, if not all. When it's normal or special summon, just normal summon, you add a Trickstar card from your deck to your hand, and then each time your opponent activates a spell trap card, you inflict 200 damage to them immediately after it resolves, non once per turn. You're using this as your main starter. It's a brilliant card. It's exactly what the deck needs. Searcher, beautiful. It's also 1800 attack on a normal summon is pretty strong, so absolutely need 3 of this. Next, we have 3 copies of Trickstar Lycoris. Now, most decks would run 2 of Lycoris. I really recommend 3 at the moment, though. So, quick effect, you reveal it in your hand, target a Trickstar monster you control, except Lycoris, special summon it from your hand, and if you do, return that monster to the hand. Each time a card is added to your opponent's hand, you inflict 200 burn to them for each. Now, the reason this is so strong at the moment is because, say you normal Candina, they effect Veiler or imperm you, Lycoris effect, bounce the Candina, summon itself. Means you dodge negation, but also Lycoris is not once per turn, so you can target the same Candina with 2 Lycorises, special summon both of them, and bounce the Candina, because the bounce does not need to resolve for the card to resolve. The bounce is secondary, so this card's really strong. The next reason it's strong is because it burns 200 every time they add a card to their hand, so this is really strong against Fualos, Perulia, Meows. It's really, really strong at the moment, especially in this format with such heavy combo decks. It really punishes players for activating cards that they maybe didn't think twice about running. Next, we have 3 copies of our Trickstar Hoodie. Now, this is one of the new cards. It's really strong. If you control a Trickstar Fusion or Link monster, you special summon it from your hand for free, and then if it's sent to the graveyard as material for a Trickstar Link monster, you add a Trickstar Fusion or Diffusion from your deck to your hand. Now, this is really strong. It really gets lots of our combos started. It looks at a lot of the new support cards, so I will show you that in due time. Next, we have 3 of Aqua Angel, the new Trickstar Marincess monster. It's brilliant, and it's an amazing card. Link monsters that point to it can't be destroyed by battle, but that's not the effect we're here for. Both of the following effects are once per duel. If you control a Trickstar or Marincess monster, you can special summon it from your hand or graveyard. A lot of the Trickstar monsters that I've got in this deck do that. Hoodie, Aqua Angel, they're super powerful. They just give you free bodies for your Link summons. I really recommend running these cards. They're beautiful. But here's the important effect on Aqua Angel. If it's sent to the graveyard as Link material, you can look at all cards in your opponent's hand and all set cards they control. This card gives you absolute knowledge of the opponent's entire field, their hand, everything. It's super strong. It's an amazing card, quite overpowered, frankly. If this was in Malice, it would be banned everywhere. So really glad that we've got it instead to use to our advantage. It means that if they do Perulia you can look at their hand, and then if they don't really have anything, they have a dud hand, you can just end your turn because you know you're safe, and then next turn you can combo off again in OTK. Or say you look at their hand, see they've got nib, but you don't really have combo, you can stop going and then go to next turn, and then the nib resets. It's really beautiful. It also lets you know what to negate. If you look at their hand, they have 5 cards, they've got 2 starters, you know to negate those. I do really love this card. Next, we got 1 copy of Trickstar Corobane, which is, if we control no monsters or all monsters you control are Trickstars, you special summon it from your hand. But the more important effect is during the damage step, when your Trickstar monster battles an opponent's monster, you can send this from hand to grave. That monster you control gains attack equal to its original attack until the end of the turn. So really helpful for OTKing, really helpful for getting that last little bit of damage, but also good defense if your opponent's trying to beat over your strong cards. So I really recommend running 1 of that. Only 1 because we've already got 3, 6, 9 special summons. We don't need another one on top of that. Finally, I'm running Lilybell. I'm a bit on the fence about Lilybell, to be honest. If it's added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon it from your hand. So yeah, it is a free special summon. It can be dead if you draw it in your opening hand or you draw it off the top deck, but I'm going to ignore that just because Lilybell is really strong. It's like it can attack directly, so you know, time, which we don't really suffer with anyway, but time, and then when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target Trickstar monster from your grave, add it to your hand. So it does give you that nice bit of recursion. So I would recommend running the 1 copy of that, but if you want to run something else instead, you could run the 1 copy of Narcissus, which I know some people are running in this deck, and I might pick up. So yeah, that is all for our Trickstar main deck monsters. As you can see, the engine is decently big in this deck, but it is still small enough that you get a lot of room for your other non-engine, which I'm about to show you now. 3 of Effect Veiler, just a solid all-around negate at the moment currently in this format. It's really nice to just get that little negate off, and that's what Effect Veiler does every time. 3 of Ash Blossom, still really strong in this format, even with the new support that Malice gets in the Ignister stuff. It's really strong to just stop them really starting their combo, to be honest, and I really recommend 3 of. Next I have 2 of Droll and Lockbird and 1 Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre does come up. It can be quite strong. It makes Malice stuff be in the graveyard instead of banished, but also against Ryziel duo drive. So I do recommend running at least 1 Ghost Ogre. The 2 Droll spots can be anything else. I don't really have a recommendation because hand traps are kind of weird this format. I would be running the Molchamis, but they're expensive and I don't have money. So yeah, that's why I'm not running the Molchamis. So don't come at me in the comments for that. But without further ado, let's move on to the spell. I'm going to start the spells off with an absolute Trickstar classic. You're definitely going to know this card. 3 of Trickstar Light Stage. So when it's activated, you add a Trickstar monster from your deck to your hand, not once per turn, so you can activate that as many times as you want. Then, every time your opponent would take burn damage from your Trickstar monster, you inflict 200 extra damage to them, so really helpful for the OTK as well. So far we've got Search in OTK, and we've also got a weird piece of interruption. Once per turn, target a set card in your opponent's spell and trap zone. When this card is in the field zone, that set card cannot be activated until the end phase, and your opponent must activate it during the end phase, or else, if say they can't because it's a spell and they're bluffing, it gets sent to the grave. So Light Stage is a really strong all-around card. Say you activate Light Stage, they ash it, you can activate another one, get the Search again. Beautiful Search, beautiful burn, really it does everything the deck needs it to do. Next, we have 3 copies of Trickstar Festival. It's really strong, it just special summons 2 tokens, and then if it's in the graveyard and a Trickstar monster you control that special summon for the extra deck will be destroyed by Battle Lock card effect, you can banish this from the graveyard instead, and that's not an effect, it just happens, it's protection, it means that it can't be negated, but it also gives you protection, it gives you more combo pieces in the tokens. It's super strong, and I'm not sure what Konami was thinking when they printed it, to be honest. But yeah, I really do love Festival. I think it's a brilliant card, and I really would recommend running 3 of it, especially with the new Band Dramatis that we've got that can search it. Next, we've got 1 Trickstar Live Stage. When it's activated, you target a Trickstar in the grave. When no target, you just add a Trickstar from grave to hand, which is really, really strong at the moment. I really would recommend that. Say they nib you or they ogre you, it means you can add stuff back, but it's not a main combo starter, which is why we're only running it at 1. Like, if you draw it and nothing else, it's not doing anything. So you want to be searching it when you need it. As well as this, if you control a Trickstar Link monster, you can special summon a Trickstar token, and then if your opponent controls a card in their spell and trap zone, you summon a Trickstar token. So it does just give you free bodies. It's brilliant. It gives you free bodies, it gives you a recursion, but you don't want to see it all the time, which is why we're only running the 1 of. Super clean secret rare though. Next, we have Trickstar Fusion, one of the new cards. It allows you to fusion summon a Trickstar Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. And then, as well as that, you can banish it from the grave, target a Trickstar monster in your grave and add it to your hand, but you cannot normal or special monsters with that name for the rest of the turn. That's really great because it means that you can fuse away your Link monsters, or say you have to fuse away Lycoris, then you can banish it, add Lycoris back to the hand. Then next turn, because Lycoris is quick effect, in your opponent's turn, you can special summon Lycoris again. It's a really strong card. It's really well designed, and it does allow you access to your new boss monster, Trickstar Band Dramatis. Finally, for the Trickstar stuff, we have 1 copy of Angel of Blue Tears, which targets a face-up monster on the field. Its controller's opponent takes damage equal to the number of cards in their hand times 200, then negate that target's effects. Now, this is really good. It's searchable off the new Noble Angel, and it means you can either negate one of your things and burn your opponent, or negate one of their things and burn yourself, but you get the negate off. It's really strong as a reaction, but also as an attack on your opponent, so I really would recommend it. It also allows you to banish it from the grave when effect damage is inflicted, set a normal trap directly from your hand or deck, and if set this turn, it can be activated. If set from the hand, it can be activated this turn. This means, say your opponent makes you draw and you draw a trap, you can activate Blue Tears, set the trap. Say you don't want to set because you know they've got a Harpies or a Cosmic because you looked at their hand with an Aqua Angel. You can wait for them to activate that, then activate Blue Tears to set whatever's in your hand. It's really strong. It also means you can set things from your deck to then use later on in the game. It's a really nice, well-designed card. And I'm super happy that it's searchable with the new Noble Angel, so I really would recommend the one of Angel of Blue Tears. Finally, we have one copy, didn't mean to leave that there. One copy of Crossout Designator. Really sad it got limited, but also at the same time, I don't want it being in more toxic decks than ours, so I'm okay with it. One copy of Call by the Grave. These are just to protect you, to be honest, because this deck can be a bit susceptible to hand traps because it doesn't have many starters. Much like Marincess, to be honest. Marincess really struggles in the fact that it doesn't have enough starters, so you have to run the bad ones. You do see a bit of that here with the Lilybell. Finally, you got one Terraforming to search your light stage, give you your combos, and yeah, that is it for the spells. Let's get on to our traps. So we are only running 5 traps. We're running one of Trickstar Reincarnation, which banishes your opponent's entire hand, and if you do, they draw the same number of cards. Now that's really helpful because if you use Aqua Angel, look at their hand and they've got a cracked hand, Reincarnation, banish it all, make them draw again. Especially with the new semi-limits to Ryziel and Malice, this can really stop a lot of combos if they lose their combo pieces off the banish or they draw a bad hand, but also paired with the Lycoris that burns 200 for every card they draw, under Fawalos or Perulia, if they have 8 cards in hand, activate this, they banish 8 cards, draw 8 more, that's already 1600 damage, plus your light stage, that's 1800 damage off 1 card. It's super powerful, I love it. Then you can banish it from your grave, target a Trickstar monster in your graveyard and special summon it so you get more burn potential, more combo. It's a beautiful card for follow-up and for effect. Next we have the new card, Maiden of Blue Tears. If your opponent special summons a monster and you control a link monster, you target one of them, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its original attack. Really nice negate, destroy, not negate, sorry, just a destruction, but it burns as well, it's beautiful, and then if effect damage is inflicted while it's in your grave, you can banish this card, then target one normal spell in your graveyard of banishment, set it, but it can't be activated this turn. You can only use one effect per turn, which is kind of annoying. The setting a card would be nice if you could do it in your opponent's turn when you've activated it, but it does unfortunately mean you don't get your festival, you don't get, say, your live stage, your light stage, but it's still a really good card all around. You're only really using it for the pop and burn. Really makes that OTK that bit quicker, and because it's a Blue Tears card, you can add it off the new Noble Angel Link monster, so yeah. Finally, we're running 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence to negate one of our opponent's monsters or set it. You can also set this off of Angel of Blue Tears, so that's pretty helpful too. But yeah, that's our trap lineup. Really fun deck, I've been finding. I've been finding that Trickstar's a really enjoyable deck. It's really versatile. It's much more of a grind game than old decks. Like Marincess was back in the day. It much more focuses on you playing well, and it really rewards good play, unlike Ryziel or Malice that can be quite easy combos potentially. It really does reward playing well. So yeah, let's move on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, I'm going to start with the Link ones. Now, Trickstar's one of the decks that suffered from Link ones, I think. Most decks that got a Link one got really powerful ones that kind of did everything. If we look at, say, Ignister, the Ignister Link one is insane. You know, loads of decks got brilliant Link ones. Trickstar didn't. Trickstar Bloom, we're running 2 copies of because it's necessary for the combo, and it's nice to use twice to get things in the grave, get effects. But if it's Link summoned, you make your opponent draw a card, not really helpful unless you're going for full burn. And then if a monster opponent is destroyed by battle or card effect, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card in their hand. You're really using this to fusion summon. I wouldn't really recommend using the draw effect, but it's a necessary 2 of, so do run 2 of it. Next we have Trickstar Cold Sheikah, which is the new Link monster. You can only special summon it once per turn, but then when a monster is destroyed by battle involving your Trickstar monster while it's in the grave, you can banish this from the grave, target that destroyed monster, and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack. Really brilliant card for the OTK I've been finding. Say you've got Bella Madonna on field and they've got a 3000 attack monster, but they're on 2200 life. You attack with Bella Madonna's destroyed, this burns them for 28. It's a really powerful card I've been finding, and a lot of people don't read the graveyard, don't necessarily check what this does, and kind of just let it go by and then get surprised when I beat them easily. But I'm like, what are you thinking? You know, this card does kind of everything for the deck. It doesn't have a surge effect, which is really annoying, but I guess it looks cool. It's a Link one, I can't really complain. So I'm just going to move these over here because we have a lot of Link 2s to talk about. So first we got the mandatory 2-ofs. We got the 2 Holly Angel, which everyone knows what Holly Angel does, but I'll read it for you anyway. So it requires 2 Trickstar monsters, and then each time a Trickstar monster is normal or special summoned to a zone it points to, you inflict 200 damage to your opponent. So it's the burn card. It does that non-once per turn. It just burns over and over and over and over again. Is how you're getting your OTK. So yeah. But then, as well as that, if Trickstar monsters this card point to cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, so that's really strong, stops Trickstar monsters being destroyed, protects everything. But then here's the good effect. If your opponent takes damage to, well, all the effects are good, but if your opponent takes damage by a Trickstar monster's effect, this card gains attack equal to the damage they took until the end of the turn. So it's already on 2000 as a Link 2, but it can reach 4000 higher than that in your opponent's turn. It's super strong. If you have Bella Madonna and this card, it can get to super high amounts of attack. It's a really powerful card, and it's a necessity in Trickstar, but we're running 2 because of the tight extra deck space, and you're going to see what I mean by that in a minute. Next, we have 2 copies of Trickstar Noble Angel. That's the new card, and it's super strong. Requires 2 Trickstar monsters, and if it's link summoned, you can add a blue tiers card from your deck to your hand. So the Maiden or the Angel. Usually you're adding the Maiden to get a bit of interruption. Then, if you have a fusion monster in your field or grave, you can target a Trickstar monster in your grave and special summon it. So usually you're using that for extra combo, maybe burning a little bit more, or you're using it to get your bodies back on board, your quick effects for your opponent's turn back on board, boss monsters. Super strong card, really big fan of it. It's really well designed, and it kind of does everything the deck needed it to do. As well as this, if effect damage is inflicted, you can target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. Now that's really strong in your opponent's turn. If you add the trap blue tiers card off its own effect, you can set the blue tiers trap, then use it in your opponent's turn, burn, pop, then this gives you an extra pop. It's super strong, and I love it. I think it's really what the deck needed. Next, we have the necessary one of Devardis. Now, Devardis is brilliant. 2 level 3 or lower Trickstar monsters, and then you got a Tax Dragon for 200. But then, that's on summon it, 200 burns. But then, if your opponent normal or special summons, you inflict 200. Plus the light stage, that's 400 burn every time they summon it. It's a really strong card, and I'm really glad that it's easier to make now that we've got Lycoris and Hoodie. It's really simple to get this card on the field. You do have to be careful though, it does require 2 level 3 or lower Trickstar specifically. So it can be kind of annoying if you have Aqua Angel on board, you think I'll make Devardis, and then you can't because it's level 4, so do be careful about that. Next, we've got 3 cards that you don't really need to run, they're kind of just there if you want them. It's kind of free slots in the extra deck. We got 1 Black Cat Bat, which is based on battle. It's based on battle for burns, and then if your opponent takes burn damage from monsters they control, lose 200 attack. It's just easy to go into because it's 2 Trickstar monsters, so it gives you the extra burn for Holly Angel. But then I would recommend this one. We got 1 Crimson Heart, which each time a Trickstar is normal or special to a zone it points to, gain 200 life points. Not really going to be using that because you're burning them anyway, so you don't worry about time. But then here's the important bit. You discard a Trickstar, both players draw a card, but if your life points are 2,000 higher, you can draw 2 cards. That's really helpful. If you're stuck, maybe you don't quite have the burn, you can rely on the draw here, and that can often help me out. I found that's really helpful, but I would recommend this one. Not so sure how I feel about Black Cat, but I might be looking at some alternatives. Next, I've got the one of Foxglove Witch Link 3. If it's special summoned, you burn your opponent for 200 for each card they control, and then if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Link 2 or lower Trickstar monster from your extra deck, then inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card they control. This is really helpful for Link 3 for just getting that final push of damage. You use Foxglove Witch to burn them once, then you attack making it destroyed or link it off, then you burn them again. It's super strong. It's a really nice card actually. I really would recommend it, even if you're just playing the one of. Black Cat Bat's the only one here that I'm not really sure about. Finally, we have our link for Bella Madonna. Bella Madonna is so strong. When it's linked, while it points to no monsters, it's unaffected by other cards' activated effects, which is super strong. It's a big 2800 tower, much like Marincess has. It's a big tower that can't be affected, and it's got a load of attack. The next effect is what makes this deck so strong. If it points to no monsters, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Trickstar monster in your graveyard with a different name. If you've got Bella Madonna on field, you have a lot of Trickstar monsters in your graveyard. It's amazing that you've got such a big burn. It can really push for the final amount of burn for game, and I just think it's a really well-designed boss monster, but it's fair as well, which is what's nice about it, because if they summon to that zone there, then Bella Madonna it's not resolving. So to counter that, when you're playing, make sure you summon Holly Angel to their extra monster zone, and summon Bella Madonna to that zone, so that it's not pointing to anything there or there, and it can't point to anything here because they're spell and trap zones. That's how you kind of play around that. So yeah, that is it for our Trickstar Link monsters, but we've got 2 more cards in our extra deck that I just want to briefly look at. First, we've got the new fusion, Band Dramatis. So it takes 2 Trickstar monsters, so you're going to use the new Trickstar fusion, usually to fuse away Bloom and Colchica, to summon Bandramatis, and then when it's summoned, it adds any Trickstar card from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards you control and in the graveyard. So you can add your Festival, summon 2 tokens, and then summon Noble Angel. It's really strong. It gives you bodies, and then it has a quick effect that if effect damage is inflicted, you can target a face-up monster on the field, its attack becomes 0. So brilliant for turn 3, brilliant for turn 2. When they're trying to beat over you, you can make their monsters attack 0. It's just a super strong card. I'm really glad that we got it because the other fusion is quite bad. So Bandramatis is exactly what we need in this deck. Finally, we have 1 copy of Superstar Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis. Kind of a last resort card, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's the only thing we really could run there, unless we tripled up or doubled up on some stuff in the extra deck. But I think it's better to have a Typhon to go into, just in case you're really in a tight place. You can normal Candina, Typhon. You know, it is a strong card, I will admit that. But yeah, it's kind of just there because I don't have anything else to run. But yeah, guys, that is it for my Trickstar deck profile. Now, I did just want to say, one thing that I did notice when testing out Trickstar is that all the Trickstars are fairies. So if you really wanted to, you could run Herald of Orange Light. That would be helpful in this deck, I suppose, to be honest. And I would maybe test that, but I would probably recommend against it just because it's quite wasteful to be discarding your Trickstars. You really want to use them for your combos, so I would be careful about getting rid of materials. That's why I'm not running them here. But that has been my Trickstar deck profile post ALIN, post Maze of the Master. I will be posting a combo tutorial for these this week, so do make sure to look out for that. But yeah, I have been Arlecchino King of Cards, back after 2 months. And if you like this video, like, subscribe. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye bye.